Hi everyone, welcome to PsyQ. Now, guns have been in the news a lot lately because we've had a lot of mass shootings, and there's also been a lot of focus on whether or not guns are a mental health issue, more an issue in themselves. And to talk about mental health, we have a mental health YouTube expert. Kati's on our show today, so stay tuned. Now, Kati has her own mental health YouTube channel. Tell us a little bit about the stuff that you cover on your channel.
Yeah, I have had a mental health channel on YouTube for over 4 years, and I talk about all things mental health. It actually started with just eating disorders, self-harm, because that's what I specialize in, but now it's all things, depression, anxiety, you name it, I'm talking about it.
And you have kind of a no question that I can't answer policy, and so we're going to challenge you with mental health and gun control. It's a controversial issue because we've had a lot of mass shootings recently, and every time we do that, we hear policies about how, you know, we need to take care of the guns and get rid of them, and then people who say no, they're fine and it's a mental health issue, we need to improve the mental health system. Here's a clip that came out recently after the latest shooting in San Bernardino.
This isn't guns, this is about really mental illness.
In many of these shootings we have people who have mental disturbances.
So Kati, when people say, oh, this is a mental health issue, this gun violence is clearly caused by a problem in the mental health care system, I think the inference they're trying to make is that people who are mentally ill are more likely to kill people. How does it make you feel when you hear that inference being made in a public forum?
It's really disappointing because frankly it's not true. There isn't a clear correlation between the gun violence that we're seeing and mental health issues. I think by people saying that, they're just making the stigma around mental health worse, and mental illness is seen as a scary, dangerous thing versus the thought that if I speak up and I get help sooner, I won't feel bad for such a long period of time. And that's the message that we want to get out versus mental illness is scary and dangerous, because frankly it's not, and the sooner we speak up, the better.
Now, and experiencing a mental health issue is not something that's super rare.
No, 1 in 4 are affected globally by mental health issues, and over 350 million people are affected by depression. It's way more common than people realize, and those are only people that speak up, so just imagine how prevalent it really is.
And so it's not like all of those people are going out and committing crimes.
No, or we'd have gun violence happening around us 24/7 without any reprieve.
Yeah. When you see news that there's been another shooting, what is your reaction as a mental health expert?
The truth of it is I think there are a lot of bigger systemic issues associated with it, not mental health related. And usually, I've talked on my channel a little bit about if you see something, say something, because there's usually signs of stuff like this going on. Not mental health related specifically, but there's odd behavior from people, and I think as a community, in a more positive note, if we see something, we say something, we can actually work together to stop what's going on.
Yeah. Now, is it true there's something that ties all of these shooters together? Is there any demographic that's more likely to become someone who's going to commit a mass shooting?
To be truthful, no. That's the thing. People are like, oh, it's got to be a Muslim person, or it's a white male between the ages of 25 and 35. There's all these demographics we hear from the news, but truthfully, as we can see when they finally actually get the facts out of who it was, it's all different people.
Yeah. It
could even be women, and they never talk about that either.
So I guess in reality, people try and say, we have to be more careful about these type of people, but really it could be anyone that's doing this.
Yeah, and that just leads to racism and all sorts of prejudices that it shouldn't even be incorporated into this.
Now, if you see a friend or a relative who's experiencing they're changing behavior and you're a little worried about them, what should someone do?
The best thing you can do, honestly, is talk to the person, and not of direct, what the hell's going on with you kind of way, but more hey, I've noticed blank, 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 and I'm just concerned, I'm here if you want to talk, is there any way I can help you? If at that point they don't reach out and get help, and you continue to get more and more worried, that's when you can actually, as bad as it sounds, you can call the police, or you can call what we call the PET team in California, is the psychiatric evaluation team, and they can come and evaluate. And I know that can be oh, that's so scary, but for a lot of people the fear is, well, what if I don't say something and then something terrible happens? What if they drive their car into a farmer's market or something? So there are ways you can help, and the first is just letting them know you're there and expressing concern.
Now, on both sides of the political spectrum, we hear both of them expressing their wishes on what they would like to do with the healthcare system, and specifically the mental health care system. Kati, if you were president, what's one thing that you would do for mental health in this country?
There's a lot. The first would be actually training people properly. As bad as that sounds to say, I'm not like calling out other professionals like you don't know what you're doing, but I feel like a lot of people are overworked and underpaid, and they have to take on like hundreds and hundreds of clients, and you just can't give them the proper care. And so I think that there should be trained professionals who aren't maybe MFTs like myself, or psychiatrists or psychologists, who know how to assess people and get them into the right bucket, because right now everybody pretty much goes the same place. And if you don't have a lot of money to pay out of pocket, you end up in this huge lump of like public services, and you can wait up to a year to get help, and that's just not okay. And so if we had a better assessment program and then different treatment programs to put them in, where there's group therapy, which is a much more affordable way, those are just a few of the things that I would start doing, because we shouldn't all be lumped together. Like guns shouldn't be related to mental health, because they don't go together. Finding a way to separate them could be definitely more beneficial.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show and talking about such an interesting topic as gun violence and mental health. And if anyone wants to check out, Kati has done a lot of things related to guns, but also broadly mental health. So you can check out some of her amazing links and some videos down below. Enjoy. Bye.
Bye.
Hi everyone, I'm Jade Lovell, resident science nerd on the Young Turks Network. You're watching SciQ, and we know you don't want to miss an episode, so please click the subscribe button down below.